Look. Dope boy brought the bars back. I'm serious as a heart attack. Beef with me, don't be starting that, cause I'll put a dent in your starter cap. I came back with a vengeance. The energy is through the ceiling. I played the good guy for too long, I done turned into the villain. My pen need penicillin, cause what I'm writing too sick. I'm about to paint my car all white and call it the Cool Whip, get it? Niggas know not to fool with it. I told you what to do with it. One man wrecking crew with it, leave you black and blue with it. Let me switch the flow, I gotta get the dough. Niggas really know what it's hitting for. It's just difficult like a figure four, man, this nigga dough. So original, face to face stuff, no subliminals. I really grew up around criminals, individuals that'll come into you. Niggas like dough, what got into you? Inspiration, STF, you quit hating. I'm working hard, congratulations. Greet me with salutations. I'm getting into meditation. Today is like a celebration. I wrote this at a gas station. That's why the bars are so flaming. Man, God is so amazing. Nah, I ain't done rapping. They say dough ain't the go, huh? Tell them all to quit capping. Quit asking me what happened. Just know I'm all about the action. I came and broke the game factions. This addition by subtraction. About to raise up the roof with it. Hit the booth and tell the truth with it. Halloween, go get spooked with it. Pull up quick and take your boo with it. Yeah, do you get it? It's time to go and start the show. I'm never feeling like a hoe. Justice League episode 38 CT. Let's go. No, I'm really not done rapping. I brought it back to the essence. Got it was meant to be.
Yo,
I had more bars.
Man,
but we're gonna just leave that there.
Let me tell you something, brother. I am.
Hey, man.
Staunchly shocked. I'm staunchly shocked.
I had more bars too,
brother. Here's the thing. I don't know how long that was, but that was.
I rapped until the beat stopped.
Woo. And you know what's funny? Two things. One, y'all don't know this. Well, first of all, welcome to the Justice League podcast.
Hey, I hope you guys like that. I am your boy Doughboy.
CT is dope.
Yes, and this is the Justice League.
Brother,
yes.
You came to the door.
It's ready, man.
With business
attire.
You had business
and casual, man.
Because I had start, and that's why.
Because I just, I definitely love the fan base. I love Donation. I love Team CT all day. And people were like, "Yo, man, we want the bars back." Tangerine that got on my case. I said, "Man, I'll be back next week with some more too." So, there was a couple.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
The people have been saying, "Yo, why don't you just say one?" It's almost like a theme song of sorts. Just like one, stick with the exact same flow.
Yeah.
But I love your motivation. Like switch it up when you feel motivated.
Oh man, I was just like at
a gas station.
You get a flow, and you get a flow, and you
everybody getting flows.
Everybody getting flows. How was your? Let's get into it. How was your?
Brother, we gotta let them bars breathe for a second, brother.
Hey, I said some things. I said I'm about to paint the car all white.
Yeah.
And call it the Cool Whip. Get it? Yo, so let me tell you kind of how things just
besides the fresh cut and the beard.
I mean, okay. That always makes me feel
tell us
about yourself. So, special shout out to your beautiful wife.
Thank you,
Tangerine Thomas. I feel like she helped.
To the microphone, man.
I wasn't into it. Okay. I really felt like she helped me snap out of my creative funk that I've been, and apparently with me, as creatively I go, life goes. So I have been in here the last couple of weeks. I haven't been having bars. I haven't been having new nickname alerts.
Wow, I'm still on the bars. Give it to me.
CE Doe.
That's so dumb already. Why do they call you CE Doe?
Because ain't nobody the boss of me, and if anything, I'll fire myself.
Man,
get the hell out of here, you.
Scat, you.
Scat. So, no.
Wow.
But what she did for me, I'm just, when I can get creative, so I'm working on a project with her. You're involved with it. Won't give away no spoilers, but just wait. It's good.
Happens tomorrow.
Yeah.
Starts tonight.
Table read tonight. And something happened and something clicked. And then the bar started flowing. Then I started writing more jokes.
You back in the gym? I see your skin.
Back in the gym, drinking water.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Trying to put them sodies down. Diet Coke-skis. So, yeah, man. And
wow. We ain't even 6 minutes in, and you are on fire.
I mean, life is good, man. I just, I'm reading a book. And I know you don't really be like reading books, but audio books is something I'm starting to really get into. It's a book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F.
Okay.
Man, it's if nothing else, just get the audio book and you can listen to it like on the plane and stuff, but it just really breaks down. I felt like this dude wrote this book
for
for
you.
me. And I was just like, he's basically talking about how so many times we just wrap our mind around things that don't matter. Like, you know what I'm saying? And we just stay in them, and it can just put a whole stink on your life. So I'm really kind of like using my energy and my time and the things that I care about. Like, I mean, like, not just caring about everything. So then that means that my cares don't matter. So ever since I kind of been reading that book, and you know, it's been a good week.
How long you been reading the book, man?
Well, I had read it before, but I just started reading it again because I found it on YouTube, and I listen to it when I work out. So, and I worked out like 5 days this week. So,
Bro, I'm first of all, I don't know if you're even realizing this, man, but that brings a smile to my face for a couple of reasons. One, because you seem genuinely happy. Two, because like we said last week, I'm like, I want to hear a doughboy from Sunday to Saturday have a good week. And that's exactly what happened.
spoken into existence.
Wow.
Sometimes you got to do it, and sometimes it's just, you know, about how you look at things. Like, you know, because sometimes shocker, I can be a bit sensitive at times.
What?
This guy.
Come on. You?
I know this is news to you, but what I've learned is I kind of control the way that I feel. Like, I found myself going to the comments, and I don't know if it was team donation or team CT, but I was getting washed all through the comments. It was literally, I was just like, what did I do to you folks? Like, I feel like y'all typing hard. And I ain't even gonna repeat some of the
They
comments,
was
but
typing hard.
They was getting at me. And it was literally like 3:13 in the morning, and I was just like, let me go over there and respond to somebody. And I was just like, do you know how stupid you sound? Like, are you really about to go over here to your computer at 3:13 in the morning to anger? First of all, you're going over there because you know what's in there.
Oh, yeah.
You know what they're talking about. You know what they're saying. You ain't got to get into that. So I'm going over there to get in it. And then I'm going to spend my time at 3 o'clock in the morning responding to a person I've never met.
And they ain't gonna respond at that time because they sleep.
And then when they do respond, they're gonna say something like, "Oh man, I just want to get a response, man. I love your stuff."
Yeah.
So enough about me though. In my chipper mood, what's up with you? I was thinking I was gonna, probably because you might be a little jet lagged. I wanted to give you your flowers. I can never really record when I get on the same day.
This is good to know.
So the fact that he flew here today, I'll be like, when I get in the city, I'm like, man, I'm eating
next week.
and chilling. Yeah. So the fact that you're here, but tell me how the weekend went.
Well, I am extremely jet lagged. When I tell you I'm dead to the world, boy, it's crazy. But so, you know, everything for me is the time management. Man, though, boy, you might ask yourself, hey, CT, you went to Cleveland this weekend.
You did?
How was it?
How was it?
You might ask that.
I might.
I'm somebody that I love sharing the ups, and you got to share the downs.
Woo!
And this is why I'm going to share this down.
Was it down?
It wasn't my fault.
Oh.
I'm always willing to say something that was my fault, but this. Well, okay.
Okay, let's unpack it.
Okay, so I did a show this weekend in Cleveland. Shout out to the people that were there.
Okay.
I got booked for the show. Oh, let me back up because I have to explain things to people, even if you don't do what we do for a living, so they understand.
Right.
When you do an event, right, you need time to promote said event. Right. Now, when I do these comedy shows in different cities, and now the tour is here, I have ample time to set up promotions for these events. This particular event, they reached out to my people, and booked me last Friday.
That was out of the blue.
It was so out of the blue, Bloods would have been mad. So
you're quick with it.
It was so out of the blue. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, well, you know what I'm saying? I know I got some people in Cleveland that want to see me. I can't wait to go. Now, as a promoter, right, you're looking at somebody with a lot of numbers online and you're like, oh, great, they'll promote the show. It's about to be packed. That's not how it works. And let me tell you why. My people need time to make a plan, right? So I take that back. They booked me last Friday. The show was this Friday. However, I don't get the information to get tickets out to people. Like, I don't get a chance to get the ticket link until Tuesday evening.
Tuesday?
Tuesday. Same week as the show, right? And I'm like, this is going to be interesting. Maybe, they already have a built-in audience, right?
Right.
They don't. It's a brand new place. It's in Cleveland. First of all, nothing but love to the staff. They're working on it. They're trying to do comedy. They want to bring it there, but they don't know how to do a comedy show, right?
Right. They're trying to figure it out.
When people come in, they let them sit anywhere. People by the bar, people in the back, and it's like this whole audience in front is empty. We need the people to move up. That makes sense. And it's like,
Man, you want to hang around for a week? Give us some more tips.
you know what I'm saying? They want us to do 2 shows, but they're not flipping the room. Now, what this means is flipping the room is after one show, you get everybody out, bring in the new people, right? Man, when I tell you, night 1, Friday night, first show, was supposed to start at 7:30, started at 9, 11 people in the audience. Now, shout out to my good buddy Alex Scott out of the DMV area. He's like, hey man, 1 in 1,000, right? Let me tell you
1 or 1,000.
Let me tell you something.
Same energy.
I am so not that guy anymore. And it's something that people say. Whatever you do for a living, whatever art, people will say, hey man, it don't matter who here, the people that's here deserve a show.
They paid their money.
That's right. They paid their money, they deserve a show. If they're there for a show.
Right.
These people were like, well, is comedy going on?
I kind of just wanted to smoke some hookah and eat some pretzel nuggets.
Some pretzel nuggets? This wasn't even a comedy audience, right? So I'm like, what is this, bro, right? And mind you, at the top of my head, I'm like, my fan base doesn't even know that I'm here because they didn't promote me until the week of through a page that doesn't have a lot of traction, right?
Okay.
When you do comedy shows, you want to do radio, you want to do
the whole gauntlet of press.
Gauntlet of press. None of that was available, and this show was set up so last minute that I'm like, I'm not getting my money. Like, that's the first thing I thought. I said,
these 11 people ain't gonna cover my tab.
I'm not getting my money. So
y'all know my weight.
Down, Alex goes up. He does a show for the people. He's performing, right?
In front of the 11.
In front of the 11.
How
He's
are they
performing in front of the 11 as if it's 100.
Are they at least cool, though? Are they into it?
Yes, great audience.
Cool.
Great audience. So I'm like, all right, bet. I go on stage. I say, listen. Alex gave y'all a show. Now, I appreciate y'all being here. So I'm going to be funny. But I'm not about to be Alex funny.
You said this?
I said, I'm honest, bro.
You do be being honest.
These aren't my people. These are just people that are here. And I'm like, hey, man, we about to have some fun. We ended up having fun.
Okay.
And then I was like, yeah, that was cool.
How much time did you do first night?
About 30 minutes.
Okay.
Just 30 minutes.
Jabbed them up a little bit.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because we started
Body
so
one.
late compared to, and we were still like, is there going to be a second show? Like, is there going to be a rush of people? And so we just did that show for that night.
Okay.
We come back the next night, but let me take this. Okay. So next morning, I wake up and I'm getting a lot of messages from the members of the Team CT fan base that are in Cleveland. Like, hey, today's the day, fam. I wanted to come tonight. I'm trying to get tickets, but the link is saying you sold out. I was like, oh, wow, this is great. It's sold out compared to having 11 people last night. And then I get another message like, yo, I'm trying to have my people come to the show, but it's saying it's sold out. I'm like, man, this is a
quick turnaround. Right? 180.
I'm like, this is going to be crazy because the place seats about 200. I'm like, great.
Okay.
Get to the venue. Alex picks me up. We get there. It's we get there about 7:40. Show supposed to start 7:30. Right.
Okay.
We come in. We see a table full of people as we're walking up. Okay. I'm like, oh wow, maybe they did sell out. Right.
I feel like I know what's coming.
It's just that table.
So it wasn't sold out.
So not only was it not sold out, and we're late.
You prevented people from buying tickets.
You prevented people from buying tickets.
Now I'm mad.
Because if people can't buy tickets because they think it's sold out and it's not. So these people are eating. We're like, all right, well, more people going to straggle in. They keep saying. So the guy says, he's like, yo, man, 180 tickets sold.
So he's
gonna be
standing on this.
packed tonight. I said, all right, because it's supposed to be a 7:30 show. It's 8 o'clock right now. This table of 12 is about to get up and go right after they eat.
Because they're not even here for this.
They're not here for this. So, so I'm somebody that, I'm a professional, man. That 1 in 1,000 is real, but I'm not that guy anymore.
You've been in the game almost 20 years at this point.
Man, so I say, all right, well, I need my money before I go up. Of course, that's just business related. It's like, cool. I get the majority of my money.
Got that envelope.
And he's like, yeah, so in about 15 more minutes, the rest of it is going to be here. I say, in 15 more minutes,
I'll get on
that's
set.
when we start. Because you have no bargaining chips. Exactly. If I just go up, I don't have to get any more money.
These hot 12 people.
So he gives me the rest of the money. 15 minutes later, I say, yo, let's start. Now, an influx of about 40 people come in. That table 12 gone.
So now it's just empty. And now 40 are coming in.
Right.
But still not the 180 he promised us. Okay.
40 people rush in. It's about 8:45. Show's supposed to start at 7:30. Alex starts the show. We have fun. I'm like, all right, this is cool. Right?
Same energy as the first night, just building.
Yes, but again, these people are not here for me.
For you.
They're just like area people, right? So I'm like, whatever. We got an audience. We got way more than we had last night. This is a better feeling of 1 or 1,000 because at least now they're more receptive. People as audiences, when it's a group of people, they react when other people are reacting.
It's the herd mentality.
It's a herd mentality.
Yes.
When it's 3 or 4 people, if they want to laugh, they'll be like, wait, hold on.
Right. You want to talk? Check my phone.
Right. So we do that. And we're like, all right, this is like last night, one show, we out, right?
Okay.
We about to leave. And we go downstairs to get some pizza at another spot down the street. And 30 minutes later, we get a call from the promoter. He's like, yeah.
Another show.
Hey, look, another group of people came in. Just give me 10 minutes. And we're like, all right. You know what I mean? Because at this point, I did sign a contract.
Right. You got
so
your bread. Like,
all right, whatever. I got my money. I'm not a bad business practice. I'm not about to take the money and
give
run.
You this hot 10.
Because I'm not coming back. Yeah. But you got to get me now. So we... So we go back in, and it's an audience of about 50 now.
So now we're at 90, which is still half of the 180 he promised. So he's just a blatant liar.
Listen.
I said it, not you.
Yeah. Part of those people, there's a table of maybe 8 that were still there for the first show.
So they just have nothing else to do. They just
stayed.
Okay.
So we do a show. I get up there. I say, listen, I know y'all 8 people were here before. Don't worry, I'm not doing the same jokes. We about to have some fun. I said, however, I'm up here for 10 minutes and I'm out of here. And then we laughing, we having a great time. I'm talking about having a ball. And then when I saw my watch hit that, I gave him 20.
Gave him 10 on top of 10.
Gave him 10 on top of 10. And I was like, yeah, man. And the crazy, thank y'all so much.
I have been CT.
Because it was my thing as a business practice, bro. You need time to promote to the people. And I really felt bad that my people in Cleveland didn't know because of radio or TV that I was there. And everything was so late. But again, I'm also not mad at the club because they're new. You don't know what you don't know. And a lot of the things that we know as businessmen and in comedy is something that we've learned over years.
Right.
And when somebody's just starting up a business and they're trying to get into the comedy game, it's hard for them to understand how to do like the seating, the promoting, a ticket link. And as I asked them about the ticket link, like, how did the ticket link? They're like, oh, we set it to expire today. And I'm like, you missed out on some people.
Is there any way you can maybe stay for another 48 hours? Help us get all this together so we can run a functioning business. They don't seem like they have it. But
together. They were good people,
right?
But it was just they're new, and when I go back to Cleveland, I know I'll be at the Improv or the Funny Bone. But this was a bar.
Okay,
so it threw me off,
Okay, and I mean, and it happens. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's, I know that in the moment it's probably like, oh, this sucks. But another way to look at it is, you got your bread. You got to perform in front of some people. You got to have some. Because I'm starting to learn, like, it's all perception. You still made another contact. People in their mind, when they do stuff like that, they'll always want to have a do good in their mind for you. They know they did a certain. So they'll know they'll get up and running, and they'll be like, once we get this right, we're going to get him back out here.
The guy already offered me a gig in another city. He's like, hey, man, He's like, I want you to do. I think he said the Messiah. He wants me to do a theater in Detroit in the end of December because he does events across the country. And I was like, all right. He's like, yeah, you know, simple. We just trying to figure this out here. I was like, hey man, holla at my agent.
Right. Talked about people.
Let's get that contract together.
Right.
But and at least even me hearing the end of December is time to, for example, Chicago, November 14th.
Okay.
That's a month away. I've been on it. We're literally pushing that.
Right.
Baltimore, November 24th, day before Thanksgiving. We are pushing these.
You gonna be back for Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a one-nighter. So it's
Gotcha.
like I'm going to do the shows, and then I'm right back on the first thing smoking.
You out here living your dreams, man. I'm proud of you.
Bro.
I called you and told you that. I need to respond on people's comments publicly because you had made a public post, but then I called you. Yeah. I was just really proud. I was just like, man.
It's like I'm your friend in private. You like,
hey, man, I see you. I ain't gonna say it in public. But nah, I think, man, there's something to what you're saying too, though, man, because I be running into to situations where I be feeling like business-wise I need to get my acumen up. Because I just feel like people don't respect me business-wise.
How do you say?
Like, I did a show, and I was going to do a show. You know what I'm talking about. So I'm not going to say, we ain't going to say that. But
you don't want to?
I don't want to do that. They're cool people. So, but I go.
Now I feel like a jerk. Because I don't want to talk about you. Like, yeah, look at people. Like,
they cool. But so I'm going to do a show, and, you know, of course, no, there's nobody there. And they're like, well, you know, do you want to just still perform for the I'm like, no. Like, and it's not like I'm trying to be
1,000.
Like, no, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I'm not trying to, no. Like, and so I'm just, but I told myself, because I'm always trying to just tell myself, like, Dobo, you're 100% responsible for everything that's happening in your life.
Yes.
How can you get better? So I've admitted that I don't know nothing about business. So now I'm like, okay, what do, like, I'm starting from, so like you're on a skyscraper compared to me business wise. But now I just told myself, like, I got to start making myself be more respected because I'm just a nice person. I don't like I hate even talking money with my friends. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if I'm like working on a project, like my main thing is always like, well, I don't want to charge like but it's still business at the end of the day. So I still got to be able, I mean, of course there's certain people that you know.
And it depends. It's literally case by case basis. But for what you said, I agree, but I disagree. I disagree with you're like, yo, you're like here with the business. It's really more simple than you realize. In business, the main thing you need to do is be impeccable with your word. And the second thing is communicate, right? So it's like, hey, this needs to be done at this time. If you guys agree upon it, just do it, right? That's one. The other thing is, this is the price. And there is no new news. Right?
Right.
So, like, for example, when we talk about, I'm like, oh man, Doughboy, you switch times. In business, that's you're giving me new news, right? So it's like, hey man, let's get together for said project here, right? And you like, bet. Bam, every party, let's just say it's more than me and you. This is something else. We're like, all right, bet. Everybody's like, cool. And then now as we're getting close to that time, it's like, hey, actually,
I got a thing over here.
Yeah, so that turns all of this around. And I want you to think like this, audience. Everybody knows the story of Will Smith getting the Fresh Prince, right?
No, we don't.
You don't know that story?
I don't think most people do.
I thought everybody saw like it by now because he's talked about it on his Instagram. And
I
YouTube.
I don't know off the top of my head.
All right. Well, Will Smith, and I'm giving you the paraphrased version before y'all start destroying us in these comments.
Oh, and we're going to talk about that Batman thing too, because that was freaking hilarious.
Thank you.
Okay.
God bless you, bro.
Right.
So, so Will Smith, I'm just going to take him straight to Quincy Jones's house. I don't have time to tell y'all how he got there. Just please.
He's there.
He's there. He's at Quincy Jones's house. They love him. Quincy's like, okay, all right, you know what? I want you to meet Tartikoff. Tartikoff at the time, head of NBC. If you're a Saved by the Bell fan, he actually did an episode, the Dope episode. There's no hope with Dope. Like he made a guest appearance.
How do you know these?
I love Saved by the Bell.
Obscure facts about things.
That's a good point. The 90s was a good time. And the 90s TV taught way more than television does now.
Right.
And you were able to just piece people together. Plus, they were getting their start. And a lot of networks were new in what they became.
Right.
And then they went on to other things. But Tartikoff was there. And He's like, yeah, man, I want him to do this show. It's based on this person's real life, but we want to do a sitcom. And everybody was like, all right, cool. And then Quincy's like, no. Everybody always says cool, but it doesn't end up happening. Get your lawyers here. Everybody's here. The lawyers went outside and literally struck up the contract to develop the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air on the spot. They signed Will doing all of this. Will is like, wow, this is crazy. Will auditioned in front of them before this happened just to show, because Quincy's like, yo, I want this to really go. And Will, in that moment, said to Quincy, oh, man, let's do this in a couple of weeks, man.
So he was even hitting him with the Hollywood talk. Wow.
Let's do this in a couple of weeks. And he was like, listen, if we don't do this now, it's not going to happen. The way Hollywood works is everybody always talk. And when it's time to do something, it gets dragged out for months or years, and then they move on. And he's like, this is your shot. And he was like, all right. And he was himself enough in that moment for them to be like, okay, cool. And they let him do it.
Quincy Jones is such a... He's such an anomaly. He worked with like Sammy Davis Jr. and Frank Sinatra.
Yes, Frank Sinatra.
And Michael Jackson and Will Smith. That's
so
just
many
insane.
more. Yeah, it's crazy.
It is insane. What do you feel about the Fresh Prince reboot?
Well, we're jumping ahead.
Okay.
But so with the Quincy thing, Quincy has always had his hand in everything and making something happen. So when you go to business, something like that can change everything. Will, after being like, all right, cool, we'll do it now. Now the lawyers are outside drumming up the paperwork, making sure that this series is going to be
and history
made.
happens.
And then if he came up with some new news, like, hey, Quincy,
I got something to do, or if he would have listened to him and said in a couple weeks, we may have never gotten that show.
That's what I'm saying. So when I tell you it's so much more simple, it's simpler to be impeccable with your word and no new news. Like, just do it right then, get it out of the way, and you'll develop. It doesn't take a lot for people to respect your business as long as you do what you say you're going to do.
But see, that's the thing that I think I suffer from, and I'm just trying to be as transparent with myself these days. I'm like an artist, and I'm one of those people that loves the art of stuff and just loves doing that. But the true artists always get taken advantage of financially. So that so it's why I'm just like, okay, though, you got to figure it out. So I'm just making a clear, conscious step to just sharpen my business acumen.
Also, read your contracts. My mom had been telling me to read stuff since I was a kid. Like, she's like, yeah. I shouldn't give my mom that voice. She's like, yeah, and you want to be in Hollywood when you grow up, you better make sure you read your contracts, because you see what happened to TLC, you see what happened to these people. And I remember one of the first contracts that I signed with representation, there was a manager who was trying to force me to like sign on the spot, right? He literally said to me, he was like, yeah, he's like, I see you doing a TV show. Have you written anything? I was like, yeah, here's a script. He's like, let's do it. And I was like, great, man, let's do it. He's like, no. Let's do it Sunday. And it was like Monday. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah. I was like, how much is this going to cost? He said, don't worry about the money. He's like, we'll shoot the show and then we'll pitch it to people.
Hadn't even read it?
Hadn't even read it. I just told him the concept of it. And he was like, yeah, we'll just pitch it to people. He's in Hollywood. He works at a very prominent film house in Hollywood. And I'm like, this is 2013, right? And I'm like, this is crazy. Are my dreams really happening right now? And this is before any type of social media. And he's like, yeah, we'll shoot it Sunday. He's like, we'll hold auditions. You'll tell who you like, and then we go from there. And I was like, this is crazy. And he was like, yeah, but
wait.
I need you to sign this contract with me, so this is official. And I was like, man, of course. I'm reading the contract, and he's like right where you are. And I'm like, yeah, I just need some time with the contract. He's like, everything's pretty standard in there, you know.
Typical stuff.
And I was like, I hear that.
Industry standard.
You're absolutely right. But industry standard. But if I sign this without at least showing my wife or showing my lawyer, I'll never forgive myself.
But see, I'm always the goofiest person when it comes to that. And this is like a proven fact, because I have a history in sales. Sales people are the worst buyers.
Okay.
So it's like, I don't want, like, I have taken 24% interests on cars. I don't know if it's, I bought a car that didn't go in reverse. I've lived a life. It's just, but I've had
You're not gonna gloss over that, ladies and gentlemen. This is true. I don't know if you said this before on camera.
I said it on a back in the day, but I've never said it here,
bro. So, he bought a car.
Did you ever ride in that car with me?
Absolutely not.
So I had went to a place to purchase a vehicle. I had poor credit. I didn't have money. The place was called Repos for Us. Repos are us.
It was called LA Repo.
LA Repo.
I remember
so
this.
I go there. So I go there and I get the car, and it's a green Infiniti truck. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like,
same thing as Infiniti.
And so I'm
Infiniti.
So I'm like, all right, man. So I'm gonna take it. So I was just like, yeah. So this is the car. He was like, yeah, but the thing with that one is, man, it just doesn't go in reverse. So I was just like,
what?
He was like, no, don't worry about it though. I'll fix it. He was like, let's just get you out of here. I was just like, what?
How are we gonna get you out of here?
So I was just like, what? He was just like, yeah, man, don't worry about it. He was like, I got, I work on cars here. Somebody's gonna get this car. It's something simple. Just take it. And so I'm just like,
if it's something simple,
why don't you just fix it now? So I'm just like, he was like, I'm telling you, man, 1 week, 2 weeks max. I'm telling you, it's not as difficult as you think. So I'm always trying to go out on faith. So I'm thinking like, well, God must not want me to go backwards in my life because he would not put reverse on my car. He must only want me to go this way.
Only wants me to go forward?
And so I kept going. So it was weird.
Wild.
It was weird, bro. I was driving into like, you have to get creative. You have to just drive into places where you can drive straight out of, and you never realize how much you need reverse until you don't got it. And so then a week or two passes by. He's like, all right, bring it in, man. I'm going to fix it. He fixes it.
Okay.
I hadn't made any payments. But this is back in the day. So I'm thinking, because you remember where I used to live, there was a gate. So I'm thinking, if there's a gate, they can't come in here to take anything. Well, I tell you, man, they hit that gate like Spider-Man and took the car like they wasn't called LA Repo.
You would have been asleep. All you hear is meow, meow, meow.
I'm just like, I thought I was good. Bro, I tried to do everything. I tried to like put a car behind. Like they can't.
This is what they do. You know what's funny is the fact that you thought you were the first person to think that if you had a gate, that's gonna stop. Let me tell y'all something. Doughboy
I've had several cars repossessed.
And this particular one, because we didn't know, as his friends, it's me, BT, Donovan at the time, we're all in Doughboy's crib. And we were like, what? You got told? He was like, yeah. We were like, this is the same one? It didn't go in reverse. He was like, yeah, but they fixed that. We were like, okay. And then he was like, man, I can't believe they repoed my joint. And I don't know why we asked this. We were like, what's the name of the company that you got the car from? He was like, man, that don't even matter. And we're like, well, now it kind of does. What's the name of the place? He was like, LA Repo. We were like, what? Why would you buy a car from somebody? They specialize
literally
in
what
taking
they
it
do.
back.
And they took that car back. I felt like an idiot. So, yes.
Oh, boy.
But I always be thinking that bad things that are happening are good. Like when I'd be looking for a deeper meaning. It's just ridiculousness in my mind. I'm telling you, like when I was in rehab the first time and the FBI raided it, I'm like, Jesus must want me to drink. He
turned water into wine for me.
He just feed me. It's just a ridiculous logic is what
you know what? I'm going to give you your flowers on this because I thought about this about 3 days ago and I laughed to myself because I was like, man, look how far this brother has come. Do you remember? So Doughboy used to have this keyboard, right? So
I'm going to tell you something idiotic about this keyboard. Too.
Okay. So Doughboy, always been in the music, right? He's telling us at the time, he's like, man, I need to get my keyboard down here, bro. That's what's wrong, man. I need my keyboard so I can make these beats.
The
make
Motif 6. It's a very
good.
big, it's a very nice keyboard.
It was very nice. So he's like, man, I need it. We like, bet. Now, mind you, I was going over to Doughboy's house every day. He lived down the street. Same block. So I remember coming to you. It was always like around rent time or something. And I'm like, hey, man, where's your keyboard? And he's like, man, I had to pawn it. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, man, I had to make this rent plus unemployment. And I was like, damn, right? He's like, oh, don't trip. I'm getting it back. And I had never pawned anything. I was like, what does that mean, right? And what I mean by that is not that I'm better than him, but when I was poor, I didn't know solutions. I was just poor. I didn't know you get pawned
no poor
something.
solutions?
No poor solutions, bro.
Never sold plasma?
Bro.
Blood?
No.
Sperm?
No. I was just poor, bro. Like, I had
just
no
hungry.
money. Poor and hungry. So it's like when people be like, oh, man. I'm like, man, I remember you was so skinny. It's like, no, you don't.
You remember when
I was poor, bro. Because before I was poor, was I never small.
You was eating all the time.
Bro,
Like, we was eating.
Doughboy and me was split
Taco
hot and
Bell,
ready's, Taco
pizzas.
Bell,
Oh,
everything. We ate like kings. Bro,
kings.
he went to that pawn shop, and to his credit, I might have seen you pawn that thing like 5 times. And to your credit, you always got it back before they sold it.
So let me tell you how stupid I am.
Okay.
I didn't realize this, and I'm going to tell millions of people because I've learned that I'm just a transparent person, so we all have stupid
You're very
moments.
transparent.
And so this is what happened. I had pawned the keyboard
The Motif
for like
6?
the Motif 6. And the wild thing about it was the Motif 6, I had like 400 beats that I had made on that little chip. And so I used to just leave it in there because I didn't want to lose it. So I left it in. I'm like, I'm always going to get it back. So I had pawned it for $400, right? $400 to pawn it. My dumb self. And of course, they wouldn't tell me this.
Right.
I'm thinking, I got to have the $400. Didn't have to have the $400. I found this out later. All I needed to do was pay the finance charge, which is like $50
to get it back.
No. To just renew the pawn.
Oh.
But they didn't even tell me that, and I'm stupid.
Why would they? They want that 400.
Because the keyboard, the Motif 6, like back in its heyday, cost like $4,000. So for me to even be pawning it for $300-400 was a knock move anyway.
Wow.
So they were able to get it, and then I remember coming back in when I found out. I was like, bro, why ain't y'all telling me? He's like, bro, we're a pawn shop. I was like, well, is it still here? He was like, no, we sold it the next day. He was like, it was a Motif 6, bro. I was just like,
we're not reputable. We're a pawn
you know
shop.
who we are?
Bro, we're a pawn shop.
I just sat there and I had to sit there and swallow stupidity and sadness. I wish I had water. Hey, man, let me buy that Game Boy for $40.
But now you back in the hole for no reason.
Now I owe him $40.
Bro.
Man,
I've lived
a life, CT.
Wow.
Yeah,
all my solutions, bro, like when I was like really dirt poor, as far as not having any money, all my solutions were, it'll come. Something will happen where I get some money. It always did.
You ever be so broke and hungry you just sleep?
Oh my God.
You just like, nigga, I'm too hungry to be awake.
Oh my God.
I just need to have a nap.
This is what I would make $20 stretch, bro. I literally would go to Ralph's. I would buy frozen chicken thighs for $7.99 at Ralph's, which is a Kroger store, but $7.99 for the chicken. And then I would drink a gallon of water, and they had the refill stations that were 25 cents. So it's like $1 for the gallon of water. You can refill it for 25 cents. I would also get $1 bag of vegetables. I would get like 2 bags of vegetables, and I had like these rice
vegetables.
cookers. Yeah, with the chicken. This is how I had enough chicken thighs.
You ain't got no starches in there? Ain't no starches, no rice, no potatoes?
No.
Just
I
chicken
just
and
had
veggies.
chicken and vegetables, bro, and water, and I would eat that, and then I had enough for I would get a box of Raisin Bran cereal from like the dollar store, and then I would get the almond milk or rice milk. So I would have cereal in the morning, and then I would go I would work out to kill time. So I would work out when I woke up, and then I would eat some cereal, and then I would chill, and then around like 4 or 5, I would eat the chicken and the vegetables, and then I would go out because I'm walking everywhere because I had no car. So then I would be walking and stuff to the comedy club and
paying them dues.
Paying dues, bro. And then by the end of the night, I'm starving. But what I also did was I bought packs of gum. So when I chewed the gum,
What?
it curved my appetite.
Do you know that chewing gum is actually incorrect for your digestive system?
Don't doubt it if you swallow it.
Well,
but
no,
I
not if
swallow
you
it.
not even just if you're chewing, because if you start chewing, your body starts to create saliva, so your body starts to think that it's about to get food. So your intestinal tract starts getting ready, like, oh, we're getting food, and it never comes, and it doesn't like you for that.
So what does it do?
I don't know. I don't think it's like a real health risk, but it's just a fun fact that I know I kind of wanted to put out there.
That's dope. I appreciate you sharing.
I always be thinking about what is gum even made of that it never just breaks down.
Bad decisions.
No, but what is it like? It's you chew it for hours and it's still there. There's no other food.
Well,
like
I
that.
hope you're not chewing it for hours, which I've seen people do. But
for a very long time. But what is it like a rubber base? I don't know. But I wanted to ask you this before we even get into the docket.
wait, dog, you literally look where you are, man.
What?
No more pawning.
I am. I haven't pawned anything in ages.
Yeah, man.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta start looking at things the right way. Like I was mad the other day, like, man, I'm mad that I'm in the 300s. I'm like, well, you're not 485 anymore.
Come on, man.
So it's just like, and his scales started to go down. So it's all about perspective. I want to ask you this because what?
Because I feel like you better ask me something phone related. Let me before you do it.
That's okay.
Doughboy.
What up?
You went live the other day.
Shout out to Tony Shot down.
You went live the other day with your queen,
Oh,
Tony
man.
Chantel. And you know what? Before I even get into that, we're talking about what they be saying to us in the comments, bro.
Man.
They be destroying her, and she doesn't react like how you and I react.
Right.
She literally is just like, anyway. And I'm like, I wish I could be like that. If I see one thing, I'm like,
Bro.
you mother. You know what I'm saying? So,
it took a lot for me to not respond to a lot of them comments,
bro,
from last week.
So, well, okay. So before I go into the live with you and Tony, so the comments. This is what I'll say, man. I was reading one of the comments out loud to Tangerine, and she was like, I was literally about to go off, and she was like, wait a second. Did you respond to any of the comments showing you love? And I was like, I'm gonna do that after this. She was like, no. Focus on the people who show you love, and you'll continue to get more love. If you focus on the negativity, that's what they'll see that gives you the response. And I have been saying that for years and forgot it myself.
I'm telling you.
So that's one. Two, bro. Tony said, it was so funny, y'all. I typed it in the group chat with her, myself, and Doughboy. And she said, because he was like, yeah. What did you say? Like, show me your
Oh, no, I was taking off my shirt because I was like, this shirt don't fit. I got to get a bigger shirt. I was like, I'm about to take off my shirt. And so she was
No. You said something.
I told her to take her shirt off.
Yeah, you were like, take your shirt off. And then she was like, why don't you take yours off too so then they can see four titties? And I was like, the delivery.
Tony be roasting. Tony and Kiara
Out of control.
be roasting now, and I've been catching the latter end of it, so
bro. But
they're both getting better.
something happened in it where I wanted to discuss this with you because you've said this on the show before. We've talked about it.
Right.
The conversation it got dark, but
Yeah.
it went somewhere where you.
And
were
it always
like,
does.
Man, it got so.
And
dark.
I don't know why she don't know. Just leave that thing alone.
But okay. Let me tell them what happened.
Okay.
So you guys were talking, and while you guys were talking, she had made reference to women who you dated in the past and said that a lot of these women only wanted you because you had been on TV and had money.
Right.
That immediately struck a chord with you because you grew up and your mother told you, yo, you're a big guy. You're only going to be able to get women if you have money.
Well, just the world, not just my mom, but just the world and my influence. Like everything that I saw told me that. Like I never seen any big dudes with a woman with a beautiful woman unless they had some money.
Except for the guy in church.
Except for the guy in church. Like exactly. But they all had money though. Like it was I never seen like no like you just had to be something special as a fat guy to get a beautiful woman. So it just kind of
that's because big dudes get money.
Yeah, not all
that's
of it,
number one.
But the thing is, do you understand what it'll fracture something in your mind?
I can imagine.
If coming up as a child, you just like, dang, I ain't never gonna be able to just have a good one. That's why I think I have my buddy love stage. And so when she said that, and I know she doesn't be saying it to hurt my feelings, but it's just a nerve. But then again, I'm 42, so I'm gonna have to at some point be like, don't get over it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get to that point where I can heal from it. I just don't all the way know how because it's a sensitivity thing.
It's a very, and you know, we all got our triggers, man. And this ties back, and this is why I want to bring all this up. This ties back to comments. You read comments, man, they both sensitive. Okay. I mean, what I'm sure everybody that's watching this has something in your life you're sensitive about. It just
Right.
might not be something that a lot of people know because you're so guarded or you're not really emotionally mature enough for you to admit that you're sensitive about something.
Or to put it out on a public platform to let people dissect it.
You know what I mean? And that's never really something that you're not hurting me. It's kind of like if you're like, you black.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude
You know
boy,
what I
you're
mean?
still fat. I'm dude boy. It's kind of in the name.
What do they call you, lean man? You be like, okay, well, this is different. But it's like these comments, when people say things, it's kind of like I used to always get mad at you because you would make fun of like when you and Teddy would be roasting. And you'd be like, yeah, Teddy, you fat. And I'd be like, doughboy.
Exactly.
Like you're saying, you know what I mean? But it's like when people do that, it's like you're not really saying anything to affect anybody. But for what you're talking about, your deep-rooted issue, we all have them. One, I want to say, because if you go back and look at the live, I need you to realize when I told you be listening, waiting to talk,
Oh, I'll be doing it.
she had apologized immediately. And
I
it
was
like
gone
20
somewhere.
minutes. And
My
you were
mind
like,
was just like,
say sorry. And I
get
was like,
off the line.
I couldn't type a comment because it already aired. So I'm like, she already apologized. And then she apologized like 3 more times. But when you're in that zone,
Right. It's
you
when
just
I
see red.
when I get those sensitive moments,
Yeah.
I do, act away. But that's the thing that I'm just happy about these days. I'm just starting to be honest about it. Like, don't you be acting like a sucker sometimes. Suck it up. Like, you're okay. Like,
It's cool.
You're a good dude. You're a good looking dude. You done made it through some stuff. Stop being so hard on yourself. I got
Stop
some good.
defending old. That's what it is.
What?
Are you going to forget what you're about to say?
No, I'm not gonna forget it all. But go ahead.
And don't forget the question before.
Okay.
Stop defending old doughboy. These are the reasons that you're taking offense to things because you're still thinking about who you were. You can't defend
That might be it.
him. He was 485.
Yeah.
He was 485.
And an unreasonable man.
Come on, man. He had to do certain things to find happiness. He had to do certain things he thought to get a particular type of woman. You're not the guy anymore. So you got to stop defending who you were and start living in it. It's almost funny. You'd be like, she's like, yeah, and you hit because on TV, and you're like, not anymore. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, just take it that way, and then you'll have a better reaction.
Nah, I'm definitely trying
keep
to
going.
learn how to balance that. And shout out to her. We have fun, man. And shout out to the donation, everybody that hops in the live. But I got some good news.
I want to hear it.
Totally didn't tell you this. And this is some good news for all of the Los Angeles fans of the podcast.
Okay.
I have secured a location for the podcast. Not going to tell you what
for
it
the
is yet.
podcast.
For
Okay,
no,
okay.
for us to do the podcast live.
Okay.
Like we talked about. So I'm working on it. And the days that they have available currently is Saturday or Sunday or Wednesdays. And I want to do it monthly.
Yeah.
So I'm going to discuss the particulars with them, but it's a nice venue. You've performed there before. And just know that I'm working and putting some things in order. So probably by the next episode, we should have a venue and a date once we agree upon
You are
it.
on it.
I'm going to produce it. I've never produced a show.
Oh man, that
I'm
first
going to
one.
produce it. So I'm going to get on. I've been doing my research about Facebook ads and how they work and different things. I'm going to go balls to the wall.
I'm excited for you, man.
So, man, I'm excited, man, too.
You are focused. This is a different doughboy.
Hey, man, get some sunshine in your life. It changes you, man.
Man, I'm seeing.
That vitamin D. Let's talk about this real quick.
Pause.
Let's talk about this. So this millennial tour is already.
Wait, did you ask the question that you wanted to remember?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to talk about Country Wayne too, but we can get back to Country Wayne. 'Cause
Whatever is on your heart.
Okay. Yeah, let's come back to Country Wayne.
Okay.
All right, because I kind of want to just talk about some fun
Yeah,
stuff.
that's fine.
Okay, so the millennial tour. This is the tour with all of the people: the Bow Wow, Omarion,
Chris Brown, right?
Chris Brown's not on it.
Oh, he's not on. He just did a guest
No.
appearance that day.
Right. So they got into it, and basically Bow Wow got ticked off, and he got into it with Spectacular. He basically says, "You've been opening up for me your whole career, so sizzle down, Magic Mike." So he came for him, and then so him and Omarion kind of had like a little spat, but he was threatening to not go perform at the Atlanta show. He was like, "I created all this. Y'all gotta." What is it with these? So I want us to rank
Short man
the
complex.
importance of these individuals on this tour. Because who do you think's holding this tour together? Because Soulja Boy's on it.
Holding it together?
Like, okay, is Bow Wow the draw? Is B2K the draw? Is Pretty Ricky the draw? Like, who do you think is? Because I think Omarion thinks he's the guy.
if I may,
Okay.
and I'm purely going, and yes, these guys, this is my age group of music, bro. I grew up listening to all these guys. My point in this is Omarion is on fire right now because of that challenge. When I'm hearing about this tour, the only thing that I've heard is B2K and Omarion.
Really?
I'm talking about social media.
Okay.
That's all I've heard. That's all I've seen. When I'm seeing stories girls are posting, they're singing along to B2K and Omarion. I didn't even know Bow Wow was on the tour.
Blasphemy. Really?
Listen, I have no problem with Bow Wow. I have loved some of his songs since I was a kid. But I haven't heard anybody mention, the last time I heard anybody mention Bow Wow musically was the verses between he and Soulja Boy. And I love, like you talk about somebody who's one of my favorite artists, I love Soulja Boy.
Oh, Soulja Boy's a goat.
I love Soulja Boy.
So would you put him on that list above Bow Wow for that tour?
Yes.
You didn't even want to stop and think about it?
No.
Would you
put Soulja Boy, even though he lost that verses, because he lost that verses to Bow Wow. Because he played the same song 3 times. But
right.
Soulja Boy, man.
But see, I think that when you really break it down, though, I think that Bow Wow does have a point. Because he kind of like went off.
He started it off. Well, I didn't even get to that. Bow Wow has a dog in the fight. I mean, he has.
Because he said, I started this. Because when you think about it, he literally
he's the first.
Was rapping at 5.
Well, he's not the first. Chris Cross was the first.
But they weren't 5.
No.
He was 5 years and got picked by Snoop Dogg and was rap like that is insane. And for us to still be talking about him 30 years like that, you don't see that. Mm-hmm. Like we haven't talked about Chris Cross or the Youngsters or Another Bad Creation, or you don't even hear about any of those rappers. You probably don't even know about the Youngsters. Did you know about the Youngsters?
You lost me after you said Chris Cross.
You don't know Another Bad Creation? We will end this podcast today. You ain't never heard Aisha?
Can I say something?
Aisha, that's what you can say. I'll put you in your face. Knock your teeth out. You ain't never heard Aisha?
No, boy.
Aisha, you are a girl that I never heard. You never heard that?
No, boy. This is what you got to stop. You have to stop making people realize that you are older. You do this often. You'll be like, oh, you don't know this? You young. I saw you were doing that with y'all live.
Yo.
You're 42, bro. Certain things we're not going to have the...
Another Bad Creation? What kid rappers do you know?
Bow Wow.
That's the only one. Soulja Boy.
Chris Cross, make you jump.
But you probably didn't even hear none of the other songs. Warm It Up, Chris. God damn. So Bow Wow is the GOAT of kid rappers. And so I think they should put a little bit more respect on his name. So if I had to rank...
I remember all kid rappers. You know who should be on the tour? Let them come out and do a song. Archie. Let him come out and do We Ready. Jaquan can come out.
What happened to Jaquan?
Jaquan is still in the club getting tipsy.
I was just listening to Chinky today. Like, whatever happened to him? It seems like just yesterday he was right there. I was like, oh, I got to get this one off.
Right there.
What happened
at
to him,
the
though?
Holiday Inn?
I was listening to it. I was like, what happened to this nigga, though?
Well,
this guy.
Unfortunately.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
So that happened.
I mean,
to his reputation at the time. And people don't play that in the rap game.
Yeah.
But, so Bow Wow, like I saw everybody come after Bow Wow because people were trying to mimic that formula. I remember Sammy came. Is Sammy on the tour?
No, Sammy did come out. What happened to Sammy?
Sammy, I thought was on the tour. He's doing well. I remember every
Wait, how are you gonna speak to the fact that Sammy's doing well? What the hell is Sammy doing that you're gonna say he doing well?
You gotta get the ball. I think he's acting.
See him in a State Farm commercial. He ain't doing
now. But Sammy, because remember Hardball, the movie Hardball with Keanu Reeves?
I've never seen Hardball.
All right, well, I haven't seen it, but I remember the song, and Bow Wow was on it, and a lot of the kid rappers on it, Lil Zane, it was like a lot of those kids on there. But Bow Wow was the most famous because he was the most marketable looking. Here's the problem: a lot of people don't rock with Bow Wow, unfortunately, because we've seen him grow up. So you can't really claim the street stuff or super tough when we've seen your
Soulja Boy does that too.
He's the rapper version of the Truman Show. Soulja Boy's different. Soulja Boy has had a life before he blew up. He was still a kid.
But he was 16. He was still a...
How many murderers do you know that started in their in their very early teens in the hood? So by the time you see him, you like, oh, like when Jaquan started rapping, he was 16, but you knew he'd been in them streets.
He had like 3 kids.
Prove my point.
Right. So in this, so if you got 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so give me your number 1. So your number 1 on this tour is Soulja Boy? As far as popularity and
popularity
why
between Bow Wow, B2K,
Pretty Ricky, and Soulja Boy.
And Soulja Boy. The popularity is pretty much between Bow Wow and Soulja Boy.
Because I don't even feel like Omarion has a ton of solo records.
He has some hits.
Name me one.
Touch.
Yeah.
Also, what's the Entourage?
How'd it go?
I can't sing it right now.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
But I know that
I can't name you.
Then this new one that's got the challenge going.
And I feel like, is Raz B on the tour? I feel like Raz B's not there.
I'm not familiar.
And Lil Fizz is just fizzing. No, I think that I feel like
He's just fizzing?
I feel like it should just be. I feel like Bow Wow should be the headliner on that tour. You put him last. You put Soulja Boy in front of him. You put B2K. You put Omarion in front of him. You put B2K in front of them, and you have Pretty Ricky open the show.
You have Pretty Ricky open the show. We're not going to disagree there. Pretty Ricky opens the show. Then I think you have Soulja Boy. Then you have B2K. They get out the way. You have Omarion. Then you have Bow Wow. Because you got to do this with a show.
Yeah.
Because if you just be like, bow, 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 bow. It's like,
and that would be
like,
weird going from Soulja to Bow.
Yeah.
Too. So.
Because it's different energy. You want somebody hype in the beginning, but you also want, or you can interchange it. You got B2K open up, and then you have Pretty Ricky give you the sexy vibe, or you can have B2K open up, then Soulja Boy, then Pretty Ricky, then Bow Wow.
And then you could have Soulja and Bow do some of their records that they have together.
Exactly. And same thing with Bow Wow doing some records with Omarion.
That's fine. I like that.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you this. So this is the question that I had forgotten earlier, and now I do want to ask you again. And we'll go back to it. And there's a reason why I'm asking you this. How do you feel about the reboot of Fresh Prince? And let me tell you why I'm asking you this. I'm a staunch advocate against remakes of any kind because I just feel like, even though I know that this is a different twist, it's more serious, and I'm totally happy for everybody who's going to get an opportunity for it. That's great. But I just feel like it just screams out that we're starving originality. Like, why can't we just come up with new things? Why can't we just come up with new shows and new concepts and new ideas? And especially, I get sensitive, a special word with me, when it's a classic. Like, don't touch it. Like, I would never want to see a Martin remake. I don't want to see a Fresh, because you're not, rest in peace, Uncle Phil. Like, there's people that are no longer living from this cast. So I don't really want to see it. And then, like, after I seen what happened with the Coming to America thing, I'm just like, please don't ruin my classics. How you feel about it?
One, you cannot, when you say about these classics, yes, you're absolutely right. I agree about not wanting to see remakes of things. But one, Fresh Prince is going to be a drama. Also, you're not the audience, right? I'll give you another example.
I'm not the audience?
You're not the audience.
I'm too old?
Yeah, you aged out. They're not marketing to 40-year-olds or 30-year-olds. They want kids and young 20s.
Okay.
So when you look at 90210, I did not watch the original 90210. I was a kid. I wasn't interested in it. I did watch the reboot of 90210, and I loved that, right? But I couldn't compare anything. I just knew that I liked the new one because I was in the age range of mid-20s when this came out. And I was like, this is great. And then I would talk to my sister, and she's like, it ain't good.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask you. So was it like the exact same characters, just different characters playing them?
No.
Or was it like a twist in the plot?
This was, the new 90210 was more of a sequel. It was now 20 years later, there are a new group of kids that are on this show. And like Kelly from the original Jenny Garth. She was the older sister to one of the kids, and then you still seen a couple of
Like kind of how they did with Full House. They kind of still got some of the same cast on Full House.
I never watched this.
I haven't
can't
seen
fully
Full
go
House
into
either.
it.
Yeah, but they have some of the people that are still.
But
into
that's
it.
like, so with Fresh Prince, it's like this is a drama. I do agree that we need original shows so people don't even have an opinion like, oh, this is going to be like this, or it can't be like this, or copy it. But in the same breath, there are people who have never seen Fresh Prince that might watch and be like, huh, right?
And then go back and watch the original.
Well, it's two different things.
Right.
It's kind of like watching Saved by the Bell now and the old Saved by the
It's
Bell.
just weird. It's just weird to switch a genre on a thing. I've never seen a genre switch on a thing. Like a thing is funny and now it's serious. Like,
Well, you saw Girlfriends in the game. Girlfriends was straight up multi-camera.
but that wasn't.
to the audience.
But those are two separate shows.
What?
Girlfriends was a show, and then the game was a show. Those are
Yes.
two. So they're not one in the.
They
same.
were sitcoms.
Oh, and then one was a spinoff of one.
Well, they were. It was a spinoff. The game was a spinoff of Girlfriends, but Girlfriends was
more
a multi-camera sitcom. And then around season 3 or 4, I believe, they went to single cam dramedy, and the game did the exact same thing. A lot of people don't even talk about that.
The girl, I get into full-fledged debates at times. I feel like Girlfriends, like how many seasons is it? I think 6 or 7. That might be Girlfriends, and the first 3 seasons of the game might be the best TV like that people like that gets slept on. Girlfriends is a GOAT show to me.
It's definitely. Got
I
a
just
great
don't
fan
see
base.
how it doesn't get brought up more. It's like, when have we ever even seen that?
I think a lot of our people bring up Girlfriends. I don't see a lot of people bring up the game as that, because the game,
Right.
Well, they got the BET. The
Yeah, I
latter
didn't. Yeah,
seasons.
they lost me. I was like, okay. I heard they're bringing it back.
I would love for them to bring it back and be better.
Right. So, but this is the thing that I want. This is the overarching point that I was trying to even talk about with this. I'm pretty sure you didn't get a chance to watch the full thing, but maybe you watched it before I put it in the docket. But Country Wayne had an interview. It's one of the most fascinating interviews I've seen in a long time. Watched it like 3 times.
This is the Breakfast Club interview?
Breakfast Club. Did you
Where
watch
he
it?
had the guy on with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Zaytoven.
I'll watch it today.
Okay, watch the whole thing. But he basically breaks it down to where he was saying that as recent as last year, 2020, he had got down to his last $13,000 to his name. So he was basically breaking it down like, once the pandemic hit, he couldn't go out and do shows. And he was even breaking it down about how you can't get rich doing shows, even if you're picking up 40,000, the agent's taking all that. So he basically talked about how he went from $13,000 to $7 million in 300 days by doing his own content and just pushing the gas pedal all the way to the floor. So now, as he was talking to Charlamagne was like, bro, I thought you was doing heck of shows. And he's like, bro, I'm not even waiting on Hollywood no more. I'm doing my own movie. He was like, I'm back out in Atlanta with my own people. He was like, because in Hollywood, they'll try to put you on these holding deals and give you, some money and just wait until they waiting what to do with you. You just sit there. And it was just, it made me think that I'm going to make a bold proclamation. I feel like the way that Hollywood is working and has worked, I give it 5 to 7 years, and that way won't exist anymore. I feel like the shift is going back to content creators. I feel like still big budget movies will still get made, and there's still going to be a hierarchy for that. I feel like TV is going to look much different, and I feel like more creators are going to start cutting out the middleman. Do you even see that coming in the near future?
You're talking to somebody that has cut out the middleman.
That's what I'm saying. Like you did the exact same thing. Like how expand on that. Like,
Man, it's like this, bro. I got tired of not being picked. Like, I knew that I had something to offer an audience and my own audience, and I got tired of waiting in line hoping that somebody would see me and be like, you know what? You know what I mean? And that does not happen if you're not the shiny nickel. And shiny nickel is, do you have the biggest agent? Do you have the biggest manager? What is your presence as far as
social media, right.
all of these things? And it's like, no matter how popular you are, there's somebody who's more popular. So it's like, I got tired of it, and I just literally start going towards my audience. I was like, you know what? I'm about to create this. I know somebody gonna like it. And people began to show interest in what I was doing. So I've long since been like, if I audition for something and I get it, that's amazing. I'm always gonna have that muscle worked on and strong, but I'm not going to be like, please pick me, Hollywood. Is there any boo? I'm funny. I'm black. You know what I mean?
When do you think that because I've even talked to you about this. I'm like, bro, let's write and produce our own movies. I feel like we're coming closer to the day where at least comedies and different things. So I know that they still have it set up where you got to go through SAG and the union for a lot of different things. You got to get permits.
Do that. Yeah.
You don't want to be out here just guerrilla shooting your movie. But I don't know. I just feel like they got so many things set up to keep it the way that it is, so they can keep control of artists and creators. But when I see people like you, when I see people like Country Wayne that will do their own things, it's just really inspiring to me to be like, man, you don't have any excuses but to feed your audience. And that's nothing I got out of, because like that's what I'm starting to even learn. Like when I went live that other day, I went live for 3 hours, like didn't know, but I learned from the audience, like I like doing music. Like that's just something, like I just wrote 60 bars last night, like, so I'm like, well, let me start giving them, I'm starting to come up with more funny music content and sketches around that, because I'm just like, this is what I like to do and this is what they like from me. And you told me this months ago, so it's just like starting to find and identify what the audience wants and then just give it to them. And then as the funds jump, then you can give them better and better versions. Because he said he's doing a movie next year himself.
That's great. But here's the thing that you got to remember, man. It's like your audience, every artist's audience has love for them. Like my audience has this love for me and I'm grateful, right? Your audience loves you and you're grateful for that. But you got to realize that there are people who love you that will go with you anywhere. And you got to focus on those people. So when it comes to doing your own project, you said this the other day on your live as well. You were like, man, it just gets discouraging from doing, I don't know if you might have said it with Shantae. You were like, it gets discouraging because I'll do the same videos that I was doing when I was over there and they don't get the same reach. And my initial thought was, because you don't have 3 million followers and you don't have this machine that's cranking your joint out just to crank it out. Now you're dealing with, if you got a video and it does 6,000 views or 10,000 or whatever, these are the people that matter because they love you. They're not just passerbyers of something that might have liked something else on that channel. They're like, I like this guy. When they come to my pages, I like this guy. It's not, I like to do because I seen him with these people and I seen him over there. It's like, I'm coming to this.
But see, that's the thing where I feel like you've done one of those niche things that not everybody's been able to do. But I would probably venture to bet 90% of your biggest videos came from your own platform. Mine didn't. 90% of mine came from other platforms. So it's like, so you got to learn over the last 10, 12 years, it's yours. And you've seen your videos do 1 million, 2 million. We know your numbers. So it's like, boom, and that's all you, and you've seen your stuff. And so with me, it's like, if I never, so I'm like, I'm where you were a couple years ago, just finding it and just trying to find that rhythm. Because a lot of times, like, I won't post just because I'll be like, they don't want to see this. And I'm just like, no, you're thinking too much. Stop thinking. Just keep putting out. And then once, eventually, you'll catch it and you'll be like, oh, this is what I need to do.
You did a live for 3 hours. And when I watched it last night, it was at 1,000 views.
Yeah, that's wild.
For your channel, for you to only have 20,000 followers. Yeah. That's unheard of for a live to do any type of numbers like that.
And I was making some decent money every time. So yeah,
people like when people come to you, so it's like it's easier for you, believe it or not, because you're like, man, 90% of your million views and all of this came from you doing it. Mine didn't. It came from this major thing, and now I'm on my own. It's like, yeah, now these people are already familiar with you. I have to show people, hey, I'm somebody, and then they're like, okay, maybe, but I'm going over here, and these are the people.
But don't you feel like there's innate pressures in both ways?
Elaborate.
Because, okay, so if you've seen me, and you've seen me do a video, people have seen me on different platforms, and seen me do a video that did 20 million. I haven't cracked 1 million myself. So when if you know, I've done a lot, you know, on other things, and so it's easy for a person to be like, oh, well, you only did that because you was on there. You can't do it by yourself. Like these are the
thoughts that you have. I get it.
Yeah, I'll just be like, but then I'll be like, but the content's not changing. Like, you know, like even I was even talking to Tangerine because like she was just like, dope. Like and she kind of gave me some sense and sensibility about things because I'll be too much in my head. She was like, "Doe, I sat back and listened to your Quarantine Shorty record. It was fire." Like, she was like, "You just made me need to switch a couple things here and there." And she was giving me like some technical things that should switch. She was like, "But you had the right idea. You just got to keep shooting." So now I'm just kind of going back to my volume shooter mode. But I think that the game is changing. And I think, honestly, by 2030, because I feel like a lot of these TV execs, studio execs got exposed. What do? What do? They just sit there. They just sit there and guess. They sit there and guess. Like, why not? And I feel like now with the evolution of cameras and how people are shooting and some of like the stuff that you're talking about, you be shooting on iPhones. It looks like a TV show. It sounds great. So it's just like, because I feel like when you go to like these big powerhouse studios, all they have there in those positions to tell you what you can and can't do are people that failed at what you're trying to do. And like they get to gatekeep and be like, nah.
This person ain't getting in.
Yeah.
But this person can get in.
It's ridiculous when you think about it. Yeah. So I'm glad that the game is changing. People like Country Rain, people like yourself, people like 85 South.
The views, man, nothing but love for all those guys. And I love 85 South, Chico, DC, Carlos. Man, I love those dudes. Genuine guys. Yeah. When we're talking about the views of these videos of yours, you got to think about it like this, man. You're building something.
Yeah.
And people don't know how to find people.
Yeah.
As much as I say to people, check the description, click this. What's the description? Okay. Go here, link in bio. What's the link? Where's the bio? And you're like, bro, I literally told you how to get to it. People don't know. So when they see your joints on all def, they're like, oh, how come you don't do your thing no more? Like, you can't imagine how many people to this day be like, hey, man, why you stop posting videos? And I'm like, I never stopped. You haven't been to my page.
Of people.
Click the bell, get your notifications. This is how you find out, right? Also, shout out to the people who have been religiously subscribed to the Patreon, new people to the Patreon, getting all the stuff early. And thank you to the people who've been newly subscribing on YouTube, Facebook. So Facebook, people were like, yeah, man, how come you ain't been posting the videos? And it's like, bro, I never stopped, right? But they don't know to click your name and go to your page and look. They feel, because the way algorithms are, if it's not shown to them when they open their phone up,
they're not looking for it. That's why algorithm is so important.
Yes. So to your problem, where you're like, man, it ain't doing these numbers. When you were a part of this thing has its own algorithm, because there are so many people who follow it. So they're following it, and people might not be following it to follow that. They're following it for certain people. Right. So if these people no longer appear on this thing, they can't see that. So for you, it's like, if they don't know how to just search your name and go to your page, they won't find it. But the people who did find it deserve love because they found it.
Absolutely. And Tangerine was telling me something about that too, like marketing my name, because I have a weird name with the weird spelling. And when you go,
nobody spells your name right.
Exactly. So it's DuBoy. Then I have I am DuBoy. So it's just like, I got to figure out something. I am
DuBoy TV.
You know, it's a lot. So I got to figure out how to
Too late to spell it differently though. Unfortunately,
I got to do something to uniform this better. But what I was going to tell you, because you hit a great point.
It's on your arm.
Another thing, I see it every day. It was another thing that you had said that I had realized in this book as well that you had just said. You had said that I'm building something, right?
Yeah.
And most people get impatient when building something, and a lot of times we just romanticize the end goal. So a lot of times I could just sit here and be like, man, I can't wait till I got 30 million views on a video and 10 million in my bank account. Like, but nobody wants to go through the 5 years of putting up a video every day and failing, and you know what I'm saying? So even with weight loss, like, everybody wants abs, but nobody wants to weigh their food and stay in the gym for 3. Like, so I'm starting to fall in love with the process of things. So
it's the journey, bro. Everything.
And it was cool too, because I looked at my YouTube page the other day because I was looking for a certain video and I couldn't find it. And so I had to go through my page because I told myself I wanted to really build it this year. And I started to look, I was like, I have been posting.
I've been looking at your growth.
A lot. It's great.
I've seen the growth. I'm like, I've seen it, even looking at the live, but beyond that, I'll see videos you post. And I'm like, man, because I'm a good friend. And I look and I'm like, man, this dude is growing. Like the reach that you have and the results that you're getting per video is amazing. And it's so unheard of at that time. And everybody has different methods about growing their business and growing their base.
Yeah, so that's all. That's really the cue that I'm on, man. I'm trying to build the business and get it clicking. Before we get out of here, I wanted to let you see your opinion.
I thought we were still talking.
Opinion. Oh, we don't have to get out of here. We got a bunch of other stuff too.
Yeah.
So we got to tell people to hide their sons.
Oh my God!
Hide your sons. Brittany Renner is back. I don't want to call her winner because that means it sounds like she's winning. It's Renner with an R.
Yeah.
She was posted at some college talking about hide your son. She looking for another young dude.
Women were mad at that too.
Listen, I feel like this is now. It's a lot of situations that we're starting to see double standards with men and women. Mm-hmm. I'm not even going to talk. I'll tell you some of the other ones off camera, but there's some that's starting to come out about some women and some things they've done with some younger dudes. Mm-hmm. It's like, if that's true, whoo. But with this one that we're talking about, because we know this right now, right? Brittany Renner was out of college trying to recruit another young man. I believe she's 26 years old.
She's 26?
She's 26.
Okay.
Let me make sure because I don't want to be fact checking and be
wrong.
But this wouldn't be cool if this was a dude doing that. Like if it was a dude going to a college, like hide your daughters, and he was 20, like niggas be like, bro, that's.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think any man of any age would be nobody would be okay hearing a man.
She's 29.
Hide anything.
She's almost 30
with a woman. Almost 30. Okay.
And she's talking about going to college. She already then got this dude, had a baby with him, divorced him, checking his pockets, and now she want a stepdaddy. Like it just reeks of. But what about you, Brittany? Like, is this all we're going to hear? Is that or are you just trolling us? Like, are you gonna give us a show? Is it supposed to be funny now? Because it looks predatory.
Can I flip this?
Go ahead.
What if she posted it and we're reading it wrong?
Like when people did the vacation and vaccine?
Hide your sons. Like, why, Brittany? What's going on over there? Hide them. And like, oh man, we gotta find out. But everybody's reading it because she dated the young guy. Like,
nah, but she's trolling us for show. And if a guy did that, we would cook him. If it was a 30-year-old dude talk about going up there and getting with it, that's not. I don't like it. I don't think that it sends the right message.
He was 18. That's still it doesn't.
She was
sound
watching
good.
She was the dude that she's with. She was watching. That's the thing. She was watching his games when she was 26. So he was 18, 19. Like that's. And when you come off like it's just something because I mean I'm raising a black woman. Obviously my daughter's upstairs at your house right now. So it's like
He brought her.
That sounds so creepy. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, my daughter's
She's
upstairs.
I brought her. She's watching TV.
Yeah.
But no, so it's like, I don't ever want my daughter to feel like that's what you got to do to get some bread or you got to be out here trying to because when you're putting so much value to take something from somebody else, you're devaluing yourself.
Yes, but there's in that sense because when you start going into the age part of it, when you said like he's 18, she's 26, we know that there are men that are 50 dating
like me and Tony ain't got to.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Kettle meet pot, pot meet kettle.
Now that you're introduced,
I mean I know this is just predatory. No boy, how's your girlfriend? Let's stay on the subject at hand.
The difference in y'all's ages, man. Brittany wrong, man.
Hey, man, she needs to be taken to task. There's less of a difference between her and that nigga than you and your. Shut up. Shut your mouth. Shut your sticky face.
White mouth.
You shut your right mouth. But nah, I feel like she's wrong. I feel like she's trash for this, and I feel like she should just chill. I feel like you already got caked up. You already got the bread. Get a TV show, get a reality show, man. Like I want to see, black women prosper. I don't want to see you out here looking like you just looking for a come up through your box. I don't want to see that. And that's what it looks like to me. It looks like this is the breadwinner for your house by the things you're saying.
Let me ask you this.
So it looks like.
Have you ever dated women older than you?
Like as a girlfriend?
Sure.
Like relationship. I've dated, but I've never had a relationship with a woman older than me.
So they've always been younger than you?
They've always been younger than me.
So
my first girlfriend was 2 years younger than me.
Okay.
My daughter's mom. It didn't get to big gaps until Tony. My daughter's mom we're like 3 years apart. My ex-wife, we're like 4 years apart. Me and such was like 5 years apart. So but Tony was like the first person where it was 10 or better.
Okay, and still no judgment. I'm just asking because,
cool,
like we're saying, the double standard things. But I think her statement, I'm not defending her. Please, cameras, don't think I'm defending her. I'm just saying what she did because of her prior history is definitely not a good look.
Right.
And it seems extremely predatory. None of my business.
But I don't, see, that's the thing. I don't have a problem with the age of you dating the dude. I don't have a problem with that. You can do that. But to make it seem that the issue that I have is when you pull up to a college to essentially troll to say, I'm looking for one of these young dudes to get me pregnant. That's what I got the issue with.
Did she say that? That I'm looking for one of these
Well,
young
she
dudes
said, hide your son. So she could be trolling.
But it's very important that you take words that are said instead of what you think they mean.
Let's not misquote anything.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second.
It's like, oh man, he got this water bottle. Oh yeah.
No, she said, "Hey Jackson State, hide your sons," with this emoji. You know that.
Okay.
So you know what that means. So
are there any other words?
That is what she says.
Got you. So
Hey,
what
Jackson
you just
State.
said.
So she's just trolling. It sounds, but
you added meaning more to it. Like, yeah, man, she's trying to get somebody to take care of her kid. She's trying to get a new kid. You said that.
Right. I didn't say all those things. She didn't say any of those things. But
right.
What I'm saying is all the things that I said was predicated off of what she's done and what her history says. So a couple years ago, you was up here with the PJ cat and you got pregnant. You married him 3 months later. Da-da-da. Now you're back at another school and you're like, yo, hide your son. So we're just left to think, oh, are you doing the same thing you were doing
I understand.
with this other guy? Maybe you're not. And maybe you're just saying hide your sons for a different reason. Maybe there's...
hide your... No, maybe
there's something else going on. But
these are the things, man.
I know they're none of your business, but you know they're pop culture. We touch on them from time to time.
I wasn't. I just I like. Let me tell you why a lot of things I don't know. I say none of my business. I always enjoy living the life that I live. A lot of time people say things that come back to bite them, and well, that was a perfect example when you were like, because I swear to God, I wasn't even thinking about you and Tony. You were like, I was like, okay, hey man, well, it's double standard. What's the youngest? And then you were like, okay, Pac, me, kill him.
I'm always keeping it 100.
I never even thought
I
of that.
don't ever want to make it seem like I am the pristine model of what's right, but what I'm calling her out on is not the same thing I'm doing. Like,
right.
I don't find value in a woman who's making it seem like she's making her living off of getting impregnated by rich men. That's what I don't like, regardless of their age, even if they're older.
The prep is always for us to teach children better, men and women,
right? Because I think that we don't. I think
to look out for behaviors.
Yeah, and I think that what doesn't get thought about is the child.
Never.
When it's something like that. Like if it is getting looked at as, because kids are a full-time responsibility. Like Kiara's 16 and I am still just as involved with her day to day as I was when she was 2. Like it's just different things now. It's taking her to school. It's taking her to get physicals. It's different things, but kids take a lot of bandwidth.
And Kiara's been smarter than you for a long time.
Very long time.
Man, when she was like 3 or 4, I saw her do something to manipulate you, and you fell for it. And I was like,
"Bro,
she's got him."
I'll never forget when I got mad at her, and I'm gonna probably mess this up, but I'll never forget. I realized I was much less intelligent.
Man,
she was like 8 when I said this, and I was like, 'cause I was yelling. She was just like, she was like getting upset. She was like, you just keep getting angry with me, and I'm like, I'm not angry with you. I'm upset. She was like, upset is a synonym of angry. I was just like, what is a synonym? Like, this little nigga is smart.
What is a synonym?
Bruh, I was just like, she got it.
At 8.
I'm like, that school stuff, you going somewhere.
Better keep on doing your
cinnamon.
thing.
Only cinnamon I know is Toast Crunch. Yo, what did you feel about this Michigan thing where there's a Michigan school district? And now, okay, I really want to talk about this. We don't have to rush.
This is an amazing transition, by the way.
This is your house.
I'm going to give you credit for that. That's the best transition in 38 episodes.
I feel a certain type of way about this.
37 to 37.
Okay. 38.
This is, okay.
Okay. So, Michigan School District cancels Halloween and Valentine's Day to not hurt kids' feelings. So, they cancel all Halloween and Valentine's Day activities in order not to hurt the feelings of children whose parents don't want them to participate. I'm gonna let you go first because I got
first,
loaded.
So you punishing everybody, even the kids that parents is cool with it.
Exactly.
Two, we all went to school with. I don't want to generalize. I went to school with kids who did not celebrate holidays. I went to school with kids whose parents didn't allow them to be a part of certain school events. This was their normal. This was the thing that they had done. Didn't take away from me enjoying these things. Didn't take away from them not being interested in the things that we were all enjoying because they weren't interested in them. So for you to take these things away that have been staples in schools since probably the beginning of this man-made holiday or both holidays is ridiculous. You want to stop kids from feeling bad? How about we start targeting the bullies? Because we all have seen these kids in people's classes and the teachers know who the bullies are. Or if the kid is coming in there and he's sitting like this when he's next to a kid, how about let's put two and two together?
Read the room.
Read the room. So them doing that, this is really getting so sensitive, man. Everything around us, people's opinions are holding so much more weight on society. And it's unfortunate in a lot of circumstances.
It's getting Mount ridiculous. Yep. I don't understand. Like, everyone's offended from everything. And it's like, really, like, Halloween costumes, like Valentine's Day. But I'm telling you, man, I feel we are on a slippery slope to where nothing, like, I feel, and really, I think we're going to be affected more than the average Joe because they're cutting down everything that we're allowed to say. Like, even I just remember, and I won't say it, but we shot a sketch for a different spot years ago, and if we played that same sketch now, couldn't get away with it. I'll tell you.
Shot a sketch for a different spot.
I'll tell you after we get off air, but I'll tell you why and what it was. But I just feel like they're neutering comedians so much. And it's like,
of course,
now we can't eat. But it's like when we're saying it, it's not like we're saying things so you can go home and feel bad. It's like most comedians are going to have at least some jokes about themselves too. So if somebody can stand in a room in a space full of strangers and tell them intimate secrets about themselves and you laugh, and then tell you stuff about, and then I just don't know where we're going.
I'll tell you this: they don't attack the white classics. Not to make this super racist, but just to tell you to open your eyes. I was watching an episode of Three's Company the other day, and I was like, "This could not exist." But if this was a situation where Jack Tripper had a different tan of skin, that show would have been removed. But they always have a way to explain why something is okay. It goes back to what my mama said. They make rules for them and laws for us. So they will always find a way to justify their behavior and limit and destroy ours.
Is Dukes of Hazzard considered a racist show because they had the Confederate flag on top of the car when they was jumping?
Do you see what I just said? Ain't nobody said nothing.
Ain't nobody checked none.
No, it's Dukes of Hazzard. But let's focus on different strokes. Those kids shouldn't have even been in a position to be adopted.
Different Strokes. I used to like Different Strokes.
Brother, let me tell you something.
Is that showing my age again?
Absolutely. But I mean, reruns happen. Like I was telling Tangerine about, I was like, I grew up watching. In Detroit, they have, and there's a comment. This guy says something from Detroit all the time, and it's like, hey man, I have to because apparently y'all don't know. Anyway, they showed. I don't know if this happened for everybody in different regions, but all the reruns from these classic shows will play on regular TV during the hours of like 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., right? So if I'm home certain days, or if it's like summertime, I'm watching all the classics. I'm watching Taxi reruns, Happy Days. I would watch Empty Nest. I would watch all these shows. And I'm telling Tangerine this. And she was like, you're lying about your age. I'm like, no, these just aired in
Wow.
reruns.
So you
But
know
I
Happy
didn't know
Days.
they were old.
I always wonder how you knew. Hey,
Yeah.
so you knew the Fonz.
I didn't know they were old shows. Like I would watch Taxi, and I would watch a Danny DeVito movie, and be like, man, he looks so much older here than he looked in the TV show I saw earlier today.
So you was watching old stuff thinking it was new stuff.
Didn't even know.
That is.
I was watching Gilligan's Island reruns. It was great. Great TV.
Yo, people are speaking of things on TV that people either like to see or don't like to see. They're body shaming Lizzo again.
This girl can't catch a break.
At this point, I love Lizzo.
Oh gosh. All right.
Love Lizzo, and I'm a big guy. But
No
I'm just,
way. You?
Unbeknownst to most, but I'm just like this, sweetheart, and I got a lot of love for Lizzo, friend of the podcast.
Is she really? Because that'd be hilarious. Friend of the podcast.
I just think it's like this. At this point, stop responding to it. Just do what you're gonna do, because you know what's gonna come. It's almost the equivalent of when I get in the comments. I know people are gonna say stuff. You know, when you twerk, people are gonna say things. But another kind of twist on this, and I think that we can all kind of learn something from it. Jonah Hill, it's another story I put in there.
Oh man.
He had made a statement and was like, please don't comment to me on my weight, whether you are giving me a compliment or telling me I gain weight. It's hurtful. I don't like it. I have never felt more of a statement than when he said that. And then I sent another comment. Somebody said, Coi Leray always being talked about for being too skinny. They talk about Megan Stallion for being too strong. They talk about Lizzo for being too big. A woman can't even be regular out here. Should people just stop talking about people's bodies?
They'll never stop. People can't help it. And a lot of times it goes down to sometimes people are reacting for themselves.
Deflecting?
They're deflecting. Thank you, bro. A lot of times people are deflecting and you suffer because of that. So, like I told you, I would always hear, man, that's when you was real skinny. And it's like, hey, man, you just ruined my day. Thanks. It was like, oh, man, you big, or whatever the case. Like,
Right.
people always have something to say about your appearance or something that you're doing. Meanwhile, they don't look how you think that they should look. But I learned this from a lot of beautiful women friends of mine. I had to really take stock in a lot of them because I was shooting one day. I'll just say their names. So I was shooting one day with Waz, W-A-Z, where you start typing Wiz in the comments, and Corbin. And Waz said to Corbin, he was like, hey, Corbin, I don't really like your hair like that.
You didn't lead up to it or nothing? Just, I'm going to start there.
Listen to me. Corbin and I have the exact same birthday. We both May 9th. Love Corbin to death. Corbin's gorgeous. These are facts. Corbin is one of the sweetest girls in the world. I say all of these things for a reason. When Waz said that to her, that sweetness, she was like, I'm sorry, Waz. I don't say anything about the things that I don't like that you do. And I was like, that's true.
Wow.
She doesn't say anything that she doesn't like about somebody. And then everybody immediately start feeling, because she's so gorgeous, you start feeling you know, you like, am I next? Right? So she was like, so Waz, like an hour goes by. And then she was like, Waz, I don't like that shirt. And I was like, open a can of worms.
Slippery slope.
So truly secure people don't feel the need to tell you what they don't like about you. They tell you the things that they do like. And at the same time, think if you even have a relationship with somebody to critique anything. I often say, especially when it comes to comments, I say, hey, before you say something out of pocket, think to yourself, do I have his phone number? If not, I should probably shut the Yeah, I mean, people be saying anything, and comments affect people, and they don't really. And this has been said since the internet has been a thing. Words carry so much weight because
Power, life, and death.
It's the power of life and death. It's like people don't understand. They'll say things like, well, you chose this career. Yeah, I chose to show my art on a completely different level than I was doing it.
Right.
But I did not open the door to be disrespected.
Right.
And listen, fam.
I hate that. I hate when people respond with that. It come along with the game. Shut your ass.
Those are people who don't understand the game.
Exactly. If you still got feelings, it ain't
Don't
like
feel
just because this is a job, is like your feelings don't hurt.
Man, it's like a guy getting turned down by a girl and him being sad about it, and you'd be like, "But
no, I'll tell
this
you
is
what
what you're open for, right? You're a man. You got to come with the territory."
I'll tell you one of the comments last week that
Destroyed you.
Irked me.
Go ahead.
And I'll just paraphrase it. No, I don't know who said it, but
Okay.
they inferred that I was in some way holding you back from something.
Where was this?
In the comments. And they referenced that I previously was holding someone else back. That's the narrative that it's like, you know what? At the end of the day, if you don't like what I do, if you think Doge is a crazy willy-nilly, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about just people in general. That's fine. I could live with that. Oh, Doge always talking about the STD he caught back in the day and he hates condoms. Yeah, okay, cool.
Bareback Belgium.
Yeah, all those things. But don't put stuff on me that ain't there. I genuinely, it makes my stomach hurt. So for somebody to say, I am holding this man back when this man just purchased his first home, is going on his first tour, living his life, ain't nothing I'm doing to hold CT back. And I just hate that whatever I have presented to the public keeps making me look like that. That's why I had to just say, you know what? Own it. You did it before. You put stuff out there about yourself before. Now you have the power to control that narrative and change it moving forward, so I can change that. And I cannot look at those comments.
You can also block people.
But exactly. But I would be remiss and I would be lying if I said that didn't hurt my feelings for a person to think I'm holding my friend back.
Two things. Well, three things. One, now give me one of the comments that you read that you were like, man, this is really cool.
I ain't got that many.
See? That focus on that positive, man. I read a comment that was like, man, man.
Well, no, they love you now.
No.
They've just totally flipped.
Yeah, they flipped.
That's why you think I came back with the bars. Like, oh, we'll tip the scale.
There's a woman,
50 extra bars.
There's a woman who always comments so angrily about you, but it's like love. Like she's always angry that you've done something, but you read it in a comment that is love with it. It's not like she's just saying something to hate on you, but she's like, Doughboy, if you don't bring them bars back by next episode, I swear to God.
I was chopped liver.
Some angry faces. I was like, oh, she means this, right?
I wanted some positive comments.
So here's the thing. I read one of the comments and was like, yo, CT, this is why I loved it. It was like, yo, CT is really funny.
Oh, yeah.
This dude, if you listen to what he says, and I was like, love. You know why? Because so often we do the show and I'm dropping fire. And I've said this before. I'm like, because your voice is louder than mine, they're hearing your punchlines, which are funny because I'm laughing at them, but they don't hear mine.
I'll be stepping on them shits. My bad.
It's fine. But I'm saying these are still microphones that are picking up our voices so people hear. And he said it because everybody's always like, the things that I get annoyed by are like, oh, CT, you're such a good friend and dog. Like, hey, man, this ain't no sidekick shit. Man. We're literally equal people. So it's like, man, you know what? Doughboy, you're so lucky to have CT. And it's like, get to my funny, right? So the dude says it, and I was like, thank you. Like, this, finally, I'm being seen. But you got to focus on the positive more than the negatives. So it's like the negative people, I was about to respond to one guy. He said something negative, and I was like, oh, I know what I could do. Hide user. Now you can never see the show again. I'm a villain, bro. Like now I'm gonna show you.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Sometimes you got to turn into the villain.
You're not going to ever be able to say something out of pocket to me ever, because you won't say it in my face. Because when we get in person, it's just like, oh.
And if y'all forgot. This comes off too.
This comes off too. I couldn't believe he said that. Bro.
Man, I'm loving the tempo and the flow of these shows, man. I feel great.
Oh wait, because people will comment on you. Not I'm not talking about the comments anymore. I'm saying people will comment on an appearance. I've always just been a fan of, you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all, right? So if I'm not gonna say something to big up you, then I'm not gonna say anything. I don't have time to give negativity because that comes right back faster than karma.
Right. Facts.
Fast.
That's what I'm really just trying to get into, man. I just try to just focus on the fun and just start to just build those moments, man, because that's what I think life is about. Like when you think about life and like the dope stuff about it, we always just going for those moments. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like the moments, like the first time you opened up for Martin Lawrence, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're always going to remember that. Like, yeah, you'll probably be some kid that grew up to opening for you later when you're doing arenas and all, and that's great. But that moment will mean that to you, or when you first got your car was just. So I'm always just trying to just stay in the positive mind of, I got a dope life, I got a dope kid, I got dope friends, I got dope podcasts. Like,
that was the thing.
I'm gonna just stay happy about the things that I have.
The third thing, I'm sorry that person made you feel like that. You could never hold me back. Nobody could, and everything that you're doing is great. And I'm glad to see that you're realizing that you control the things that enter your life. Not certain, like, if a motherfucker is like, hey, my great aunt just got a pimple on her face. Like, that's not something that you could have possibly brought onto yourself or your family. But I'm saying the things that you attract into your life that are dope, you have the power to attract even more. So only focus on the great things. Don't focus on the lack, because you'll get more lack. Hearing the Country Wayne thing that you said about the 7 million, man,
in 300 days,
brother. What is this? October, man. In August, Tangerine was like, "Yeah, so hey, baby, buy this thing for me." And I looked at her and I was like, "Buy, baby girl, I'm in my last run." You understand me? But in my mind, I knew that more was coming and things would continue to get better, and things are way better than I thought. Even with the tour, I was like, man, I was hitting my agents all summer, like, yo, I want to do some dates. The Detroit date came, and I'm like, yo, let's get some more. And they weren't coming. And I'm like, geez, Louise, I had given the cities that I wanted to do for the first run, and I wasn't hearing nothing. And then 2 weeks ago, they just start pouring in. I'm talking about, like, I would get 3 a day. And I'm like, this is crazy. So it's like attracting what you want instead of focusing on what you don't have.
Yeah, and I be learning from my kid, man. Like, I was clearing up Kiara's room the other day.
Oh, you out?
And because she was just
she said, "Hey, daddy,
room ain't gonna clean itself." So I was making her. It was on her birthday, and so I was making her bed, and so like I looked under her pillow. It was like a card there. I was, I'm nosy. I'm like, what is this?
That's funny.
And so she had like a list of things. I won't say what it was, but she had like positive affirmations
at 16,
that she puts under her pillow.
That's dope.
And it was just so sweet. I didn't teach her that. I'm like, nigga, teach me.
That's
so
great.
that's the type of time I'm on, man. So yeah, this is
affirmations. I like it.
Yeah,
at least you know one of her love languages are words of affirmation.
Absolutely. When I be making her lunches for her, I write her a little card and say something nice. I be trying to be a good dad, man.
What my mom doesn't know, because I know she's watching. My mom is the best. She literally watches everything that I drop. That's why I'm careful about certain things. But my mom, every year, she'll write an incredible birthday card, and I've saved so many of those cards, especially since I've been in LA. You got to take that L before I move to LA, mama. But ever since coming to LA, wrote so many nice things that it's like, oh my God, like I'm so blessed. Speaking of which, let's talk about after last episode, your mom was in town to go to Universal.
Yeah.
What ended up happening?
She came.
How was the hangout?
We hung out. I mean, they came over to the crib. We ordered some Gus's fried chicken. That when I was still eating trash. I ain't eating fried chicken no more. And we chilled. They stayed till about 2. They rolled out. So it really wasn't. We didn't really get to have like a deep sit down conversation. I know that she had to, that they were going. And did we record last Sunday?
Yes.
Yeah, so I had other stuff going on.
No, we
too.
recorded last Saturday.
Right, to accommodate that.
Right.
So I was just doing, other stuff. I think I had ended up going to sleep. But it was cool to definitely see her husband, like, you know what I'm saying? So we definitely got to chop it up. They had a great time with where they went and everything. But, we really didn't get to sit down and kind of have that, hey, someone to talk to.
Did y'all hug?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
My mother's
my
hug
mama.
was crazy.
I love my mama, man. So, yeah.
My mom always... when I hug her, she always rocks to the left and the right, and it makes me laugh.
Like a little two-step.
Random. She's like, I'm like, okay.
Oh, this is what I did want to get your opinion on, because we did touch on it briefly last week, but now I finally got to see the whole thing. So, Squid Games,
brother,
did you finish it? Can we give spoilers?
I'm spoiling.
Let's spoil it.
Well,
let you guys run off if you don't want to listen.
No
spoilers.
We're not gonna spoil it.
We won't spoil it. You should watch it though.
You gotta watch it. I was watching
Fire.
it with my mom, and we got to like episode 6, and she was like, "This is cruel," and I was like, "What? I'm not watching this anymore," because my mom got this thing about elderly stuff. Like she doesn't like anybody to take advantage of elderly people, which nobody should. Like if we're blessed enough to become elders, you want to be taken care of. So I get it. That's been a big fear of hers her entire life since I've been around.
Right.
But we got to that part, and she was like, "I'm not watching no more," and I'm like, "You gotta watch it.
Turn it off for the VCR. It's on Netflix."
But it was one of those things where I was like, "Are you gonna watch it, or you want me to tell you?" She was like, "Tell me." I'm like,
"It was a great show."
I had to explain to her everything that happened for her to understand that moment wasn't what she thought it was.
Did you understand the ending? Maybe we could talk after off camera about what you, because some things had changed at the end, and we were just sitting there like nobody's going to say anything about the change. And so I had to Google it online, and there's like different theories about what that thing, you know the thing I'm talking about, right?
You talking about the color?
Yeah. I was like, no one's going to say anything.
It looked ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. I was so mad. But so I had to look up some theories, and they basically said it kind of is going to run into season 2.
And
it's
so they're going to do a season 2.
Oh, that's hard. He going to get the bag too. I guess the dude that wrote it, apparently he had been writing this since 2009, and he had to pawn his laptop at one point in time. And look, he made it to Squid Games, so maybe I am on the right path after all.
Man, I'm telling you, bro.
But I got the keyboard.
Man, that keyboard gone.
He still got that laptop.
Man, that laptop is still
But
there.
now they said that he has the most streamed show on Netflix ever.
You've never seen a show like it. You've seen shows that have wanted to be that, but they never went there.
I want to have this conversation with you, and responsibly,
Okay?
Because I don't want either one of us to get canceled by how I'm going to say
Speaking of which, man, I need love in the comments for the fact that we had no issue, no text
convo,
and I spoke to him this week a couple times.
Called and checked on me. Appreciate that. Okay, I said this to Tonisha, and I said I don't know if you see me saying it on the live.
That name. I literally just need her call Tony.
Said this to Chantel.
Oh, well, that's fire.
What, Chantel? Okay, so
You can talk to her parents.
okay, so with this show, right? It's a all Asian cast.
Yeah.
Okay. There's another movie that I had watched maybe a year ago called Parasite, all Asian cast.
Right.
Riveting.
Still gotta watch it.
And there was something else that I had seen with an all Asian cast. I was like, great.
Crazy Rich Asians?
It wasn't Crazy Rich Asians. It was something
fire.
else. But it was just like, but what it made me feel like, and really what I was saying, I was like, yo, Asian people are so dope.
They are.
And when I say that, because I feel like they're not represented enough in entertainment. Like
That's how I feel as well.
I don't see enough. So I'm just like, I think that there should be more inclusion of Asian content. Because I'm just like, this is great. Like, I need to see more of this. And I just don't know why. And maybe we're on the way to starting to see that. But when you think
I've
about
been
it.
including a lot of Asians for a long time, folks.
Oh, yeah, you got the whole series going on with that.
Hey, man.
But why do you think that is that they're not represented enough?
I think much like most minorities, until Hollywood sees a value in us, they won't ever place us in positions or allow us to put ourselves in positions to where we are bankable. When you look at China as
2 billion people.
Yes, so many people. Like, that's money. That's why I knew Shang-Chi was going to kill, because it's their first superhero on a mainstream stage. The exact same thing when you go back and look at Slumdog Millionaire.
That's the one I was talking about, Slumdog Millionaire.
Those, because I don't even want to say the wrong name for their community, but it's like, no, the Indian community, or let's say Middle Eastern. The Middle Eastern community had never had themselves on the big screen in mainstream media.
Oh, I wasn't talking about Slumdog Millionaire. I was talking about something else.
I knew you weren't talking
but
about
I love Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah, but it's like, and it did well. So it's like, when you allow minorities to tell their own stories instead of you trying to tell the stories for us, we'll always win. Stop giving us the same black movie. Stop giving us what did Alex Scott say? Sprung, Jason's Lyric, and Boys in the Hood all the time, and let us show you what we can do. Like, and by let is such a strong word. Get out of the way.
But I think it goes back to what we were saying before about the industry collapsing eventually and letting the creators get back to it, because I feel like there must be some gatekeeper that's not allowing enough Asian inclusion.
There are several
It shouldn't have to be like we got to meet a quota for Asian film. It should just be more. Or it should just be more mainstream Asian actors that don't got to be an all Asian cast.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like, okay, like, no funny shit. Like, right, who is a A-list actor that we can think about off the top of our head that is Asian?
the only one is Lucy Liu.
I feel like there's a problem with that. So I feel like that definitely should, maybe this will open the conversation to that. Because I just feel like, I felt stupid for saying that. I was just like, man, like, I want to see more Asian people. Like, why don't I see it? Because it was just cool. Like, and it wasn't.
Jackie Chan was holding it down for a long time.
Exactly. Or Jet Li, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely, I want to see more. But yeah,
I'll tell you, the girl from Squid Games, she's gorgeous.
yeah. She's
I want to
fine.
hear her actual speaking voice, but she's
that was my
gorgeous.
That was my one knock on it. I don't like the voiceover stuff.
You don't like dubs.
I don't like voice stuff.
You better get over it because some of that stuff be the most well-written content. And here's the thing. When we're talking about the paradigm shift or the paradigm. Paradigm. I watched the commercial. They were like, shift the paradigm. But yeah, the paradigm shift is more so we decide what's hot. Like when I told you I was often overlooked and it's like I didn't get picked, but I was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna do my own thing. You wouldn't believe how many people have hit me up asking how I did it. The same people that could have given me the look. But like, hey, how do I do this? And it's like, okay.
But I think it's just making the firm commitment of committing.
Yeah.
If you just say, I'm going to do this and I'm not going to stop until it's done, I feel like
it's worked out for me every single time.
I feel like you get to wherever you got to go to. This has been fun, man.
This has been good.
I think we're damn near 2 hours.
November 14th.
You know the vibes.
Baltimore, November 24th. I'm going to be in OKC November 8th, I believe, with my guy Black Ron. November 12th and 13th, I'm going to be in Dallas and Houston on the Lit AF tour. Go to Martin's page for those dates. But Chicago, Baltimore, come to my page, hit the link in the bio. And Patreon people, if y'all want to play villainy with me, tell me in the comments. You want to come back to villainy before the end of the month for at least one good time.
And make sure y'all pull up to the Doughboy page. I got a new show that I'm going to be dropping on Thursday on live. I'm not going to tell you too many details about it, but just know you need to be tuning in at 7 o'clock on Thursday. I'll be dropping some announcements on it, but it's a brand new show that I'll be doing live with you guys, and I think you're going to love it.
I see that you split the difference by doing the IG live and YouTube at the same time.
Oh yeah, I was just like,
I'll tell you, watch that YouTube take off and you stop doing the IG live.
Oh yeah, but I just got approved for badges and to make money on IG now.
Congrats.
So I was just like, I'll just have it.
You do both.
You know, we just gotta keep grinding until we figure it out, man.
Facebook ain't no
ain't nobody coming to save us.
Not coming to save us.
Can you go live on Facebook?
The exact same way you go on Instagram.
So I should probably just go StreamYard and I can just do both of them, right?
No, you want to go separate. I do that for your show that you're gonna do, but you know what?
Because I heard that there'd be a lag in the YouTube.
There's definitely, but yeah, I mean, what I'm gonna start doing is start going live in specific places outside of me doing my shows. But like, I have to do some lives on YouTube, straight on Facebook, and IG. So yeah,
I got an idea for your Patreon one day.
Give it to me.
We should do the episode live for them one day.
You know what? They're doing something in there where they're going to allow you to go live straight from there soon.
From Patreon?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when that happens, we can do it.
Okay, for sure. I know other ways that we can do it too, but yeah, I think that they like it. So if you're part of his Patreon, and I'll be starting a Patreon soon.
It's about time.
Maybe you guys can, get that live show. That'd be fun.
Finally, he's finally doing. Like, you got to drop the Patreon just for music stuff, everything that's on your mind, and for you, as long as you stay consistent, brother, you will change the world. That's
what I'm trying to do, man. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate those kind words, man. You as well. I'm proud of you, sir.
Can't stop, won't stop, Rockefeller Records.
I have been your boy Doughboy.
CT is dope.
Next time.